Hello and welcome to today's episode of Show Me Your Stack. Today I'm going to be interviewing Sean and Laura, and even more exciting, I got to meet Sean live in real life last week in Boston at Inbound, and I'm so excited to catch up post Inbound and hear what's in Sean and Laura's tech stack. So join me as I shuffle up and dive on in. Hello and welcome to today's episode of Show Me Your Stack. I'm so excited to be sitting down with Sean and Laura. I'm going to let you kick things off and tell us a little bit about yourself. So Sean, do you want to start?
Yeah, sure. My name's Sean Lane. I'm a founding partner at Beacon GTM. We help CEOs and revenue leaders improve their go-to-market execution. And I just wrote a book with Laura. And so the book's called The Revenue Operations Manual. It just came out. And it's something that champions the operator and something we're super excited about. Right, Laura?
Absolutely. My name is Laura Adint. I've spent the last 25 years or so in strategy operations roles, and right now I'm working in a financial services company and enjoying the launch of our book, The Revenue Operations Manual.
Awesome. Well, you'll have to send me a copy or share some details because I definitely want to dive in. And for all of our listeners, I actually just got to meet Sean in person at Inbound, and we just got back this last week. So that was really exciting and fun. All right, let's jump in. So, Laura, what do you have for us at number 5 in your tech stack review?
So number 5 for me is Looker, or some kind of tool that gives you visibility into the data and visualization of it. Of course, you've got to get all your data right first, but being able to visualize it and present it to others and have everybody on the same page is why that's on my top 5.
Awesome. Okay. I love that. And just being that data mindset, especially with everything shifting to AI and people spending so much money in their tech stacks, I like having that in there right off the bat to kind of counteract a little bit of that. So
yeah, I've always said the best way to get your data clean is to provide visibility to it.
I like that. And it is shocking to me as I've sat down, I think you're episode 20 actually, so many people that don't focus on data and then probably wonder like what is happening. So that's awesome. All right, what do you have for us at number 4?
Number 4, I would say, and I'll say Clary because Clary is what I have used over and over, but it is a forecasting system. I think that is one of the key things that any organization needs to have, needs to wire it up, make it work for them, make it embed their whole sales process, their customer success process, all of it within the system so that you are not working outside of it, that you are actually working with it. And the fact that Clary sits on top of whatever your CRM is, that allows you to get your CRM data clean and be able to, again, there's a theme there, data and cleanly data.
Love it.
Yeah.
That's awesome. All right. Sean, what do you have at number 3?
Yeah, so number 3 for me, I'm going to go to a totally different part of the tech stack. It's something that's relatively new for me, but one of my new favorites is Fathom. So I use Fathom for all my call recordings and note taking. You know, I'm very much like a scribbler and a note taker on calls, but having Fathom there with me, yeah, I get it, right? I got my same, right? But having Fathom there, you know, especially in a client-facing business, it helps me really keep tabs on the different projects I'm working on, what the next steps are, what I owe, what they owe. So it really helps me stay organized.
Agreed there. I mean, you know, as a Superboard partner, we send recaps after every meeting, and they are so helpful. And for me, I'm like, okay, I've been focusing on inbound. Now I need to shift focus. I can quickly skim the last meeting I had with each of our partners. Like, this is where we left off. This is our action items. And yes, I agree. I'm a pen to paper person, but just that digital log is incredibly helpful.
Yeah.
All right, number 3.
2, I think, right?
Oh, you're sorry.
2, we're at 2. No, you're good. Number 2 is Superboard. I mean, I can't come and talk to you, Ashley, without talking about Superboard and putting it on the list. I think for us at Beacon, the thing over the last year that has really shifted in our business is we've gone from coming in strong, putting a bunch of stuff in place, and then just leaving and hoping that things stick when we leave to actually leaving something behind that is going to endure and make the change management a little easier. So being a super partner, building our own Beacon app on top of that has been really, really helpful for us as a business. And we use it every day. Our clients use it every day. So definitely got to be in the top 5.
Yeah, it's been so fun to watch how unique you're using it and what your use case looks like too. And I love that. All right, number 1.
Number 1 is like a dark horse for me if we were having this conversation a year ago. Number 1 is HubSpot. I had only used Salesforce my entire career until I left and started with Beacon. And now, like, I'm the biggest advocate that they've got, I think. I've been so impressed with the CRM. I am definitely softening on some of my stances about what it means to have this as you grow up as a company. And so, you know, they've really floored me, and I've been super impressed.
I also share that stance exactly. I joined Supered a year ago, and I had 8 years worth of Salesforce behind me, and I was like, what is this product? Like, in my mind, I thought it was only for small bit, you know, like everything you heard as a Salesforce user. And so I'm with you there. The user friendliness of it, the UI, just the simplicity in general of how seamless it integrates into every part of your business has been so fun to use.
It's rare for ops people like Laura and I to get to be the ones who like open the box on your CRM and like truly start something from scratch. And so doing that for ourselves at Beacon with HubSpot has been amazing, but also, you know, I would say 7 out of every 10 clients we have uses HubSpot. And so we've had a ton of exposure and experience using it. So yeah, number 1.
That's awesome. I love that. All right, we're going to shift gears now, and I'm just going to ask you some questions. So both of you are industry professionals that really understand your business and your niches. So what are you hearing about in industry? Like what product lines or tech stack is new that you're excited about?
I think artificial intelligence is something that's just swamping, I think, every industry, but ours in particular. I think some of the things that become possible and the things that are really important for RevOps professionals like ourselves to be on top of and to understand and still guide, because you have to do it safely. You have to do it protecting your assets within the company, and you have to do it in a way that adds to the business and doesn't distract from the business. So it's one of those, and I'm just going to put that as an umbrella. Like Fathom is actually the one that Sean talked about earlier, does use it, and those are like, that's one of the best use cases you can think of for it. So for that, I'll turn it over, Sean, if you have any other items you want to add to that.
I think just for ops folks, being able to inject their own creativity using a lot of these tools is what's going to be new and exciting, right? We're firm believers at Beacon that the discipline foundations you build your business on are not going to change, and the outcomes that you're driving towards also not going to change. But the means by which you navigate from one to the other are changing every day, you know, just in the examples we've talked about today. So that's an exciting time for ops folks to like go and test these things out, you know? Look at Clay, look at Reggie, look at Copy AI, spend time with them and see what's possible.
Exactly. I love that. All right. What are you all working on?
We're working on getting our book in the hands of as many operators as possible. Truly. There's a whole chapter on building your tech stack. There's a whole chapter on how you think about your customer journey. But, you know, that's, Laura and I have spent a little over a year putting this project together, talking to more than 50 plus amazing operators. And so now, like, the work of championing the operator is over, and now the work of getting it into the hands of as many operators as possible will begin.
Awesome. And what's a highlight of your book? Like what do you feel like is the biggest use case in winning without giving too much away? What do you want people to know going into reading it?
I think our operator's mindset is probably the distillation of the whole book, and it really talks about it's appropriate for any industry type of thing. You can go into very different industries because it's a mindset and thinking broader, not narrow, in really thinking in a learning, a better, never done, and in a wider view than I think many people have initially approached operations. And that mindset comes from like continuously learning, being okay with being wrong, always pushing for better outcomes and focused on outcomes versus the nitty gritty of detail, but bigger picture and focused in that better, never done in improving outcomes. So that's, I think, the core message of our book.
Awesome. Well, I'm excited for it. I'm like I mean, as someone who's at a very early startup and we're in our hyper growth phase, I'm really excited to learn from you both and to read it and to hear how it can really help guide our pathway too. So, Sean, any thoughts on before we wrap up or?
No, I mean, I think Laura did a great job of encompassing it. I will say, I know one of the things that you ask about folks on this show is like their favorite kind of up and coming tool. And I think one of the things that Laura and I have been testing out and messing around with a little bit is a tool called Vector, started by a couple ex-colleagues of ours, Josh Perk and Nick Masters, super, super smart guys. And they're helping folks to identify anonymous traffic that comes to their website. And like, there's a part of it that's completely free. So I have it hooked up to our Beacon site, and we have a Slack channel. So now I can see any potential buyers that are showing up on the site. That's really interesting to us. And like they're doing some other work around offsite intent. But I think, in your question about kind of the categories of new waves that are coming, like I think for a long time, intent has been a very buzzwordy thing that it's like, hey, somebody at Oracle is interested in your product. Like, phenomenal. Which of the tens of thousands of people should I potentially deal with on that particular question? And they're making it a little bit more specific. So I've been impressed with that, and something literally in the last couple of weeks we've been testing out and messing around with.
That's really cool. Like I'm like instantly I want to dive into that and see
Great.
how.
It's crazy.
Yeah, I'm like, wait, what did you just say as I'm processing this? And why has nobody in 20 episodes told me? So
Here to help, Ashley. Here to help.
I love it. I love it. All right, before we wrap up, any parting thoughts, anything you want to share?
I think one of the things that Laura and I stress a lot in the book when it comes to technology is make sure you know the problem you're solving, right? Take the time to understand what the actual pain point is before you just immediately reach for a new tool. I think we're very firm believers that the tech stack should support the customer journey. The customer journey should not support the tech stack. And so if you approach your work in that way, you're much more likely, one, to get better outcomes, but two, to have users who find utility in the thing that you're trying to put in place.
I like that. That's like the best way to sum up a tech stack, honestly. Best summary I've heard. So, all right. Well, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I'm excited to dig into your book. I'm excited to keep watching Beacon grow and see what you all do next.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Ashley. Appreciate you having us.
Thanks, Ashley.
Let's shuffle up and show me your tech stack, where every episode is a high stakes reveal of the tools that are aces in our guest book, where chips are down and digital decks are on the table. Are you ready for the best in class tech? Let's deal these cards and see what comes up. Who's ready to double down on digital innovation with me?